Welcome to another presentation of the Side Sports Video Blog. Today's date is October 7th, 2023. I'm Troy West. This is episode 249. As we got a big weekend in sports, a big weekend here on the channel. We'll get into all that as we close out, but got a lot to talk about. MLB playoffs today as the divisional series starts in both the National American League. All four matchups starts today. We'll break down. I get my World Series prediction today, so you're gonna get from here on out what I think is gonna go down in the Major League Baseball playoffs. NBA talk. James Harden did report the camp this week. We'll see if he. I get my opinion on the whole situation there, and we'll look at the Eastern Conference. Now Drew Holiday was traded last Sunday to the Cincinnati Bengals, the Boston Celtics. So I haven't really I did a short on it that day, so you could go check out that. But I'll give my detailed thoughts on that and what I think. The East, we'll go down the Eastern Conference, talk about every team briefly. Not a prediction, but to give you like what I think, sort of an outlook on what the East is now. Because I think the East is probably a little bit stronger than the West now, but I have to really dive into that. And NFL Week 5, we'll look back on the Thursday Night Football game. Bears finally get a win. Disappointing loss for the Washington Commanders. We'll look at that game, and then we'll look at the rest of the games this week. Got an early game tomorrow in London. Jaguars Bills, which is a big game. We got Steelers Ravens, of course, always huge. Talked to my buddy James, shout out to him. We probably will go back and forth tomorrow. And 49ers Cowboys, probably the game of the weekend. Sunday Night Football, so big day of football tomorrow in the NFL. College football, we'll briefly look over that as well. And then we'll give you an outlook on the channel. But I ain't gonna waste no time because we got a lot to get into. MLB playoffs. The wild cards was quick. It just only took 2 days. Everybody swept, so there was no doubt. Everybody took their games 2-0. I think the only road team that won was Texas Rangers. I know they was a road team. I think everybody else was home. Phillies was home. Minnesota was a home team because of their division win. But they defeated the Toronto Blue Jays, who I've been high on the last couple of years. But like I said, I think their pitching is just lacking. Arizona was a road team. They beat the Milwaukee Brewers, which I think Brewers, they just a good team, but they don't have. Not saying you need a superstar in MLB per se to win. But they don't have that one guy that can just go and just take over a series, or either side, either pitching or hitting, and that's what you need in the postseason, especially in a short series. So Arizona got through, and the National League is pretty much division matchups. You got Arizona going to the LA Dodgers. And my Atlanta Braves, I got my Braves hat on. You probably can't see because of the lighting. The light is not that great, but got my Braves hat on. I'm a Braves fan first. I'm an Orioles fan second, but I love the Orioles. They get the Texas Rangers, and I was telling my big bro Warren, shout out to him. He's a big Orioles and Rangers fan. Like, he's a homer for real. And but I was like, I'd rather face the Tampa Bay Rays than the Rangers. The Orioles just got a bad history with the Rangers. And I mean, even though, like we talk about in sports all the time, these ain't the same players, but if your team got a history, it just hovers around that, or it just hovers around you. So the Rangers has just always just been a bad team for us. So that's why I'm worried with the Orioles about. Really, it's just about history. It's not about right now. But hopefully, right now will overcome history. And then you got the Astros. So the Astros, like I said, always got to be a scary team. They have so much experience. They've been in the World Series with 2 out of the last 3 years, and won 2 of them. Well, really last few years. I don't know if I'm right on the 2 out of 3, but they're just a good baseball team and a good organization. Yeah, they got in trouble for the little side stealing stuff. Like I said, I don't really look into that too much. They wind up coming back within the West, so they got momentum, and this is gonna be some good series. But overall, well, let's just break down this round first, the divisional round. I think the Orioles will do it. They first up today. They play at 1 o'clock. That's the first game of the day. I think the O's that just is going to be tough. I think it's going to at least go 4. It could go 5 games. But the Orioles pitcher got to hold up. But like I said, I'm just more worried about just the Rangers, like the history of the Rangers just doing bad things for the Orioles. Like, so, best record in the American League was a shock to everybody. Like, the Orioles had a great year. I just hope they at least get to the ALCS. And like I said, it's more of a deeper thing for our city back home in Baltimore. I'm from Baltimore. I've been born in Baltimore. 40th birthday was yesterday, but I lived in Baltimore 39 years of my life fully. So, and just the turmoil and how people are suffering there. The crime is at an all-time high. So I notice every time when I was reading the Ravens, because since I've been alive, the Orioles ain't won anything. But the Ravens, when they win or when they doing well, people just just a little nicer, the killers go down a little bit, like when we were doing the Ravens won the Super Bowl just 2012 going into 2013. Crime went down a little bit. 2001, you got graduated high school, like, you can just tell it's just a different feeling around the city. You walk the streets and everybody's saying hi to each other. Everybody's been loving your fellow man like you're supposed to. Like, everybody just got that one accord, So hopefully, if the Orioles do well, even though it's baseball, so it might be a little different, because I'm just gonna go ahead and say, how people don't really like baseball like that. So I don't know if it's going to really affect the inner city like that, but it might, because wear your nice Orioles fitted cap, things might loosen up, you never know. But that's one reason why I root for the O's, and just because they ain't won it in a while. So honestly, like I said, I told this to my big bro that I'm a Braves fan. If the Braves win it, I'd be very grateful. But I'm actually probably rooting a little bit harder for the Orioles, just because we just won in 2021. Yeah, we had some suffering years as well. We always was there competing, but just never could break through. We only won 1 World Series in the 90s. And then we won this last one in 2021. So, I could sit on that. But it is suck. But if the Orioles win it, I'd be great. It'd be great as well. So yeah, I do got 2 teams in the race. I admit that. But I think the Orioles will get by the Rangers. I just think it's gonna be tough. Even if they sweep them, every game is gonna be just tough. Speaking of my Braves, they play the Phillies. 6 o'clock start time. Like I said, division. Like I said, even with football, with anything, when you play your division rival, anything could happen, because the division, they're not going to be afraid. Not saying that that people are afraid and this and that, but I think it's a mental thing. Like, you play these guys all the time. It's not nothing new. So even though the talent might be, it might be a disparity in talent, but at the end of the day, they're not going to fold. So it's going to be a tough story with the Phillies as well. I say the Phillies to get a game, maybe force a game 5. But I don't see, I'm the type, like, some people pick game 7, game 5. I feel like if you're the better team, and if you really believe they're gonna win, like, it should never get to a game 7 or a decided game. To me, y'all pretty much even if you lose or win, you even if you was able to take them to the break. So I'm gonna say both of those. I'm gonna say the Orioles and the Braves get by at 4, because I think the Rangers will at least get one of these games. I think the Phillies will get at least one of these games. Twins Astros, 4:45 first start pitch time. Houston, like I said, I'm just so high on Houston because of their history. They've been in the playoffs every year for the last 6-7 years after having multiple bad years. Twins, they got that monkey off their back. Speaking of history, they didn't win a playoff series since 2002. They didn't win a playoff game I think they lost like 16 straight playoff games, so it might have went back to 2002. They finally won a playoff game in Game 1, and he was able to finish it off in Game 2 at home. But the Astros are a different animal. I think the Astros the better team. I think they get it. Out of respect, I get the Twins a game. I think that goes 4 games as well. Diamondbacks, Dodgers, like I said, another divisional matchup. So just off that alone, I think the Diamondbacks might get a game. But the Dodgers, quietly, you know, they won 100 games, but they've been under the radar this year. A lot of people ain't been talking about the Dodgers. It's been mostly about, unfortunately, the pitcher with the domestic violence, Brewer, and things of that nature. But far as like, it may be because they've been there too. You know, they've been close, but never could really break through. They won in the COVID year, where some people pretty much missing that championship, but they did win in 2020. You know, they got the experience. So the Dodgers is a team that scares me. You know, I'm scared. You know, even though we beat them when we got through the Braves, I'm talking about, because I think that's what it's going to be: Braves, Dodgers, and then it's going to be Orioles and Astros. And you know what? Let's just get right to it. I'm gonna skip to the World Series. I think both my teams will get through. I think the Orioles and the Braves will meet. I was telling my big bro, you know, being a 1 seed is not great history. You know, usually one of them go down. You know, you don't usually see it, but I think we're gonna see it this year. And I say this: I'll be probably rooting for the Orioles to win, but my Braves, I think that just my Braves just the better team. Ronald Acuna Jr. is off the charts. He should win MVP in the National League for sure. And I think it'll be a great series. I got the Braves winning at 6 over the Baltimore Orioles. That's my prediction for this year's World Series. I think that's how it's going to go down. And I ain't gonna lie, it's biased opinion. But I think teams that could up that Dodgers and Astros. If it's not the Orioles or the Braves, I think it'll be the Dodgers or the Astros. I'd be surprised. If it's any other these other teams, even though the Phillies got that last year, so I think if the Phillies do somehow upset my Braves, but I would get behind the Phillies because of what they did last year. But I think it's going to be the Braves and the Orioles. I think my Braves will win it in 6. That's my prediction for the World Series. So, all right, so let's move on to the NBA. You know, everybody probably already talking. Tired of me talking about baseball, but I love baseball. Like I said, I say it all the time on my blogs. I love baseball. I'm always going to include baseball, especially during the season on my blog. So I don't talk much hockey, but if I get somebody, that's why I'll be saying, you know, comment. You know, if you want me to talk about another sport that I don't talk about, I would touch on it a little bit. I mean, I dip and dab into other sports sometimes, so just ask me about it, and I'll give you my opinion on it. But alright, let's get to the NBA. I want to touch on the James Harden thing because he, you know, he's a player, like, he probably out of all my years of watching NBA, I don't want to use the word weird, but he's in like purgatory category because I think he's I think he's a Hall of Famer, like, you know. So I'm gonna touch on his career a little bit first. I think he's a Hall of Famer, just what he's done in the NBA, especially when he was in Houston. The years he had there, pretty much carried his team on his back, scoring the basketball, distributed, like he could do pretty much everything on the court, especially on the offensive end for sure. He could run the offense, he could score, he could put people in the right spots, he could score himself. He's a great player. But of course, just like, you know what? He reminded me of Karl Malone. I guess that's probably a good comparison. Karl Malone, third all time in scoring. This guy was unbelievable. I watched Karl Malone at his peak of his career. The Jazz, if it wasn't for the Bulls, the Jazz would have definitely won. And they had the Bulls, did the rights. And what was that? Actually, the last series. Well, both series, really, they had a shot, you know, but just big shots by the Bulls. Michael Jordan, of course, the big shot in the second meeting. They had home court. Jordan went there, Game 6, hit the shot. But Karl Malone overall but he don't, you know, like when you talk about all-time greats, you don't include him because he ain't win a title. I think James Harden is going to be in that same category if he don't win a title. And I don't like to be the guy, to say, what you, what your goal, what you really in the league for. Some players, like, I'm gonna use Gilbert Arenas as an example because he just said this, like, he's content with his career. He don't care that he was a champion. He just glad that he made 100 or whatever million in his career. And I ain't gonna say he got a good. It depends on your perspective. Like, I think he's right in a way. Like, yeah, you made your money, but at the same time, like, just the competitor in me, I could never say that. Even if I felt that in my heart, I wouldn't have admitted that publicly. Like, I wanted to be, like, anything I ever do, I wanted to be the best, or at least at a high standard. Like, so basically, you're admitting that you didn't care about winning as much. So I guess that's the question about James Harden. Like, how much do he cares about winning? But I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. I'm just going to say, I don't understand. I'm gonna put it that. That's probably what I could say. I don't understand his logic. Like, Philly, like I said, right now, James, Embiid. Like I said, I argued this last year. Now you got to give the Joker his credit. Now he's won a championship. He's the best center, let alone maybe the best player in the NBA now, right now. But I think Embiid at his peak is better than the Joker, better than any big man in the NBA. But Embiid does stay hurt a lot. That's probably his weakness, if you were to call it that. Like, even last year in the playoffs, he was nicked up, so he couldn't, be himself. And then, so I mean, the Philly situation ain't peaches and cream. Like, I give him that. But to want to leave again, Houston, like I said, Houston gave him the world. Pretty much any player that he wanted, they went and got Russell Westbrook, Dwight Howard, Chris Paul, and then when he wanted him to be, them to be gone, Houston got rid of him. So he was definitely the franchise there. Daryl Morey, even though he's the GM now in Philadelphia as well. Some tension, some behind the scenes stuff, and basically what I've been hearing and and reading up that. James Harden was promised something. Morey didn't give it to him, so he's upset about it. I get that. You don't want to be promised something and then don't get what you need or what you want or whatever. But I don't know. I just think if you just go off his history, if he don't want to be somewhere, he's not going to give you his best. Like, that's clear. Like, that's just the truth. He's not going to give you his best. So I recommend Philly going ahead and trading him, because if he really don't want to be there, we gonna know right off the bat. But me personally, I hope he stays, because I think that will even out the East a little more. Because if they lose Harden, even though I like Philly's role players and stuff, Tyrese Maxey, I really like him a lot. Can he step into a more, I don't want to say superstar, but more of a star role? That would remain to be seen. But if you got Harden and you know what you're getting 20 points, maybe 10 assists every night, if he's engaged, But he's shown when he's not engaged, he's pretty much useless. So we'll see with that. Sorry about that. Got an important text. Oh, dang, I might have to stop and record again. But yeah, what I was saying was, that's a situation that, I know what I'm gonna do. I can break this down into 2 parts. So I'm gonna do the NFL separate, from this, because I gotta make a run now. So but yeah, I hope he stays in Philly, because that'll even out the East. So let me I want to pull up the Eastern Conference, because I want to touch on every team real quick. Then I'm gonna end this video, then I'll come back, record, we'll do just the yeah, I break this video down into 2 parts today. Okay, let me go through the East real quick. I'm gonna shut down this video, then I'll come back, do part 2. We'll look at the NFL Week 5. So let me did I backed all the way out? No, I didn't. Here we go. Alright, good. The Eastern Conference first. So thank you guys. Like I said, days comes up sometimes. But after this, we'll definitely be good. I need to go to the store anyway. I need to get me something to drink. Alright, let's look at the East. I think it's in alphabetical order because, of course, nobody played any games yet. Atlanta Hawks. With Trae Young, you always got a shot. What's the other kid's name on the other guard? They just paid him from San Antonio, but he's a good player. So the Hawks will always be somewhat there to compete, but you know they just need a little bit more. They're not on the elite level like Boston, Milwaukee, Miami, Philly, you know. But you know, just like they made that run to the Eastern Conference Finals, they have capability of making a run because Trae Young can get hot. Deontay Murray popped in my head. So Atlanta always going to be a pesky team, but we'll see what they do this year. Boston Celtics, like I said, making that Drew Holiday trade was huge. I wanted to talk about that, but I think that puts them back into elite class. Not saying that they wasn't when they, you know, when Milwaukee got Dame, and we're gonna talk about that in a second. But Drew Holiday defensively, and he can be a point guard that Boston desperately needed for the last couple of years. So you'll get that. So that would be you know, Boston and Milwaukee to me is the clear top teams in the East. Let's move on because I really gotta run now. Chicago Bulls, you know, all the things that are going on with Lonzo Ball, but they got a good, decent team. DeMar DeRozan is a decent player, so they'd be a competitive team. Cleveland Cavaliers, same thing. Spider, Donovan Mitchell, but I just think Cleveland lacks depth. I think that's what hurt them last year. Detroit Pistons, young team, but I think they're going in the right direction. Indiana, they sort of in a no man's land. It's like they got good players, but they keep hitting their head on the ceiling. They need that one good player, but they're not a bad team either. Miami Heat, of course, this whole Dame and Drew Holiday's situation, they pretty much stripping the two teams that they probably would have to face in the East. Milwaukee got better and Boston got better, you know, and Miami didn't get anyone, and they lost players. So we'll see if Jimmy Butler can carry them again, because he's gonna have to. At least that's how it's looking. Milwaukee Bucks, of course, got Dame Dollar. I think Giannis, to me, should have, far as offensively, should have one of his best years of his career, because he's gonna get a lot of one-on-one coverage now. You can't really build that quote-unquote wall. So Milwaukee, to me, is vastly improved. Brooklyn Nets, same thing like Indiana. Got a lot of good players, but just not good enough. New York Knicks, interesting team. Jalen Brunson was a good addition. But basically they need Julius Randle to improve, and they need Barrett to improve. So, you know, other than that, Knicks are just waiting on another superstar player to come there. So they're sort of the same boat they've been in for years. Orlando Magic, same. You got a lot of young players going in the right direction, but we'll see. Philly, I just talked about Philly. If they lose Harden, I don't know how they're going to be this year. Embiid, you know, he got to stay healthy. Washington, interesting team as well. Got Poole from the Warriors. Got good, you know, got some good offensive players, but other than that, what they going to be? Toronto was in the Dame sweepstakes. They lost Fred VanVleet. We'll see if PL Siakam, we'll see what he's made of. Can he carry them? Charlotte, Mike sold the team. It's going to be LaMelo Ball. Can they build the team around him? If they can't, then Charlotte will always up their head on the table. But the East is definitely stronger than it used to be. We'll do the same thing with the West next week. But let me go ahead and shut this video down. This will be part 1. Part 2, we'll get into the NFL. We'll look at week 5. So thank you so much for watching. I'll be right back soon. Both of the videos will probably post at the same time. I'm Troy West said thank you. We got a part 2 today, episode 249. And it'll be all NFL next. I'm Troy West said thank you so much. I'll see you guys soon.